Now, I understand all of the supposed benefits of Nikki Haley as a candidate, right? If you see what have been strategically part of the problems of the Republicans about, say, issues with women, with people of colour, and let's not play too hard onto that with her, but she is an obvious alternative. But it's been fascinating to watch how MAGA has tried to, and quite effectively, pulled the wings off her. Neocon Nikki, she's the donor favourite, she's Mitt Romney in a dress, all the rest of it, right? Is that true in the way you view her, or is that just the Trump machine getting out the water cannon and doing anything they can to push away an opponent?
It wouldn't work if there weren't some truth to it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. They've seized on her vulnerabilities. She is a neocon. She certainly sounds like a neocon. She keeps saying we need a new generation of change, new generation in the Republican Party. And yes, she's 20 plus years younger than Trump, 25 years younger, maybe even more. But her policies sound an awful lot like George W. Bush's when it comes to, the military and how bellicose she is, and when she talks about foreign countries and their threats. And the Republican Party has moved on from that era. I mean, they've tried it. It didn't go well, and they learned. And I don't think there's a big appetite for it. There's a section of the Republican Party, in particular, Jewish Republicans, are much more hawkish than anybody, and for good reason. I mean, look what just happened to Israel and the threats that Jews are under here in America. And I do believe they have a core belief that, peace through strength is the way. But I think a lot of others have just been too burned, and they're over that era. And Nikki Haley represents the past to them, not the next generation of leadership. And the donor class money is a thing. I mean, it is a thing. Don't get me wrong. Whoever winds up getting the nomination, the donor class comes in and bends the knee. All those bankers on Wall Street, they come in and they bend the knee. They need the president of the United States to love them. So eventually, there's always that relationship. But if they buy you nice and early, then you're more beholden to them, and there's a fear that they can shape your positions and that they're your original, benefactor. And she's benefiting from that in terms of dollars right now, but also getting hurt because people have a natural aversion to the donor class, especially in today's day and age. So some of it's true, and it's hurting her. And I just don't think. Look, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe she'll resurrect somehow, but it's over for her. It's done. The contest is over.
Literally, the bloke she appointed to the Senate endorsed Donald Trump. Her home state looks like it's going to go for Donald Trump. The fingers crossed.
They all did, and they all will. All the people, like right now, one of the funny things is the media freak out over DeSantis endorsed him after all the terrible things they called him. He called him a meatball. He said terrible things like Ted Cruz got on board Team Trump after he called his wife ugly and said his dad killed Fidel Castro. JFK killed JFK. That's what it was. They all do, because you have to, as a politician, and I would argue as a journalist, check your own desires about who should win and get behind the one who is likely to win so that you can have some influence over him. That's how Ted Cruz is looking at it. That's how Ron DeSantis is looking at it. And in their case, have a future in the party that's telling you they love him.
Is Michelle Obama seriously going to run? I know that she sort of occasionally pops up on a podcast and people project an awful lot onto her, but I get it. Not everyone has to have a public service record to be able to run for president, but even if she did, what is her record? I lived in the White House for 8 years?
Right. Why not one of the daughters? As soon as they hit 35, sure. I too related to an Obama, they could say. Right. Well, the chef. Well, I don't know what happened to Obama's chef.
That's true.
So I don't know. I've been all along saying I don't think it'll be Michelle Obama because she doesn't want to be back in Washington, in the White House, or in politics. However, I'm hearing more about this alleged reach out to top Democratic donors by the Obamas to see if they would support it. There had been 2 reports now in the New York Post from, the gossip columnist Cindy Adams, but that's twice now she's saying she's heard this, and I've heard it as well, that there's been a reach out. So maybe it's true. I mean, the donors are going to talk about it if they get a reach out from Michelle or Barack Obama about whether there's an appetite for her. And the one thing I know, Paul, is that if she wants it, I believe she'll get it. I know that many people believe Joe Biden won't step aside, and I agree he'll try not to. I just think the din in support of Michelle Obama in Democrat circles will be so loud, he won't be allowed to ignore it. So, and I think his numbers are going to go down this year. Yes, Trump's negatives are going to go down too, but Biden's going to have a slip or a fall. Something's going to happen to him. And I just think crisis is coming the Democrats' way, not just the Republicans, and she'll be the answer. That's what they'll think. I don't know how it's going to come, how it's going to shake down, but I'm not ruling it out like other people's are.
Well, you heard it here first. Pay attention to the details. Make sure that you listen to Megyn's show every day, Sirius XM, but also find the YouTube and the podcast as well.